just remember that whenever it was time to play house, I wanted to be the mama, yo. Hey, boy, hey, girl. Why do you walk like that? Why do you talk like that? You know, the boys already know. The boys will do gumboot or hip hop dancing, but look, krampa. I was not in any of that. I been funny page, do you understand? I just wanted to make it shake. I honestly just wanted to make it shake. So I remember I just always wanted to be with the girls, because if I'm with the girls, I'm gonna get the best shoe, and if I get the best shoe, then we gonna, you know. I didn't want it to be me. I didn't want it to be my brand. So that's where the culture of deny was even exaggerated.
Kia bro, JB, it's Kalagamna. How it ma, 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 how it ma. Oh, it's Kalagamna, it's Kalagamna.
Guys, my name is Gio Bra, aka everybody's favorite. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell and get notified every time I upload that fire. And if you're a returning subscriber, you already know that on this channel, it's Kalaganjani. Danky. Now, obviously today Lambona, they like did lady makeup and whatever. So I was looking into the mirror and I was having those, you know, when you have like an interview with yourself kind of moments where you just like, passion is the recipe for success. You know what? I feel like black dominance. So I was having a whole lot of those, but one that stuck out for me was when I was telling my queer story. I felt like, you know what, let me just roll out the lights on camera because this is content. Like, this is definitely content. So that is why we're here today. So I'll be basically telling you guys my queer story, my gay story, how I went from knee deep in the closet to being this openly gay, lovely being. So yeah, without wasting any time, please just give the video a thumbs up and let's get straight into the video. I'll break it down into early childhood crash, primary school, high school, and then varsity, where I was like, it is what it is. Okay, cool. Who am I as a child? Who am I in crash? Okay, at that time, I just remember that I just always wanted to be around the girls. Like, I just wanted to do girl stuff, to be honest. Because I remember looking at the boys and they were kicking, stretching, rolling, punching each other. And in my head, all I could say was,
Why are the girls fighting?
so I knew for sure, Uti, that was not my portion, right? So that's me in Crashed, obviously. And then me back at home, I had a friend that lived next door opposite. So she had dolls. Like, she had more than enough toys, so I was always happy. We used to play together. It was cute, it was nice. I never really like had my own doll because my parents still persisted on getting me cars and guns, and I just not make sure, but like I'd happen to just give them away at some point, and then when they asked me where they are, I'd be like, they lost or they stole them. So yeah, that's another part of it. And then also I just remember that whenever it was time to play house, I wanted to be the mama, yo. Like, give me. Do you understand? And if I was not the mother, I wouldn't play. And because I was so stubborn, but I'm like the much needed element to any party, they'd always just agree because, I mean, give me a thing. So yeah, I just remember that I would always just want to be the mother, hey? And if not the mother, the sister. And that's kind of fucked up because like the sister would sleep with the brother, and then let's not talk about that. But yeah, that's basically me in a nutshell in early primary. Oh wait, until my mom gave birth to my sister when I was 6, right? And obviously 2 years down the line, she has to get dolls. Guess who's gonna play with the dolls? Me. Guess who's gonna be happy? Me. So there was also that part of my life, you know, where I played around with my sister's dolls, my sister's toys, and Nunku's toys, obviously. And I was so happy, like, do you understand? I was such a happy child. And because of these distinct differences, that's when the boys would actually find something to pick in. Because of these different interests, why am I with the girls?
What's going on? What's cooking oil?
You know, all those questions. Obviously, my difference is very much highlighted by the fact that I'm into different things. Now, obviously, the slurs start, the bullying starts, but at the time, I pay no mind to it. But obviously it is affecting me in some way or the other. And then let's move to primary school. I was in like a white school, so I feel like with the early development grades, like grade 1, 2, 3, I feel like everyone is sort of interconnected in some way or the other. I feel like boys would play with girls, and it wasn't such a big deal because our activities were very much group like jungle gym and gender. Do you understand what I mean? So at that time, I honestly don't remember a very distinct difference in my interests. And then what happened? Oh, fourth grade. There's a new girl in the school. I can't remember if she joined grade 3 or 4, but in grade 4 we were privileged enough to be in the same class, right? So she introduces me to the concept of paper dolls. Ha! Count me in. I was there, I was within, you know. And after she introduced me to that, we formed like a sort of business. I remember I was designing the clothes, and sometimes I was making the dolls. Then we sold them for, I think, 50 cents if they're naked. And then if you want extra clothes, I think you used to add like cents. So I was definitely thriving in that regard. And obviously that's where the interest again are now starting to highlight how different I am from everyone else. And then obviously that's when the boys start having a feast. And at that time, I was constantly subjected to questions such as, are you a boy or a girl? Why do you walk like that? Why do you talk like that? You know, all those questions. I just remember a big part of my childhood was just filled with that. Like, regardless of where I went, if it was a family gathering, the people of that kasi would ask me, why do you talk like that? Why are you with the girls? You know, that's a big part of my early childhood. And okay, cool. And then also now there's arts and culture at that time that's being introduced to us. And then at that time I'm very much active. I'm very much, you know, artsy, you know. Given the task to perform, given the task to create dances and whatever, the boys really know. The boys will do gumboot or hip-hop dancing, but look, krampa, I was not in any of that. I been funny page, do you understand? I just wanted to make it shake. I honestly just wanted to make it shake. So I remember I just always wanted to be with the girls, because if I'm with the girls, I'm gonna get the best shoe, and if I get the best shoe, then we gonna, you know. So it was nice, it was cute, it was whatever. But the more I did things that I genuinely wanted to do, the more I'd get the bullying, the more I'd get the slurs, the insults. So at some point, all of that stopped. And I guess that's where the fake persona or the fake image of me was created. I just remember that after that, I went through a period of having male friends. I remember I went through a period where I was kind of not liked by the boys, but the boys were sort of, you know, I was now starting to make male friends, right? And then at that time, obviously because of my history, I'd still get the insults. Even when I was still within those groups of boys and whatever, I'd still get the insults. And at that time, that's when the media was profiling, you know, gays and queers and whatever. And how they were profiled in media at that time, it was sexual relations. Now at that time, remember, I'm only like 10, 11. I don't know any of that. I don't know being gay with regards to the sexual, because I don't have that knowledge. I don't have that interest. So for the longest time, I just always denied the fact that I was, because whatever was shown on TV, I knew I was not that, because I didn't know that, you know. 7th or 6th grade, yeah, I think we moved to then, where I started feeling a certain way about boys. I was like, yo, we here, like, do you understand? Feel like we here. And because of all that conditioning that happened within my early childhood and the early, you know, grades, I didn't want it to be me. I didn't want it to be my brand. So that's where the culture of deny was even exaggerated. I didn't want it. I was so mad at myself for feeling that way. So I'd always just let those feelings go. Would say, you can't be doing that, at least not now. So a big part of early childhood or whatever is made up of moments where I deny, even when I knew now it's okay, it actually is what they've been saying I am, but I just denied. And at that time I was doing so well in the extramurals and academics and I think sport, so it was kind of like I had a different conversation now. Like, my name was not just being mentioned when it's time for bullying. Like, there was something else about me now, besides the fact that, you know, he could be, you know. And then cool, let's move to high school now. I think I've had an interesting high school journey. So how I started high school, I was going through stuff at home. I was going through stuff psychologically. I remember that's when my acne started, so I had acne problems as well. So basically my self-esteem was an all-time low. I didn't really do much in grade 8 because I just felt so out of place because there was so much happening around me, so much change that I was not used to. So that continued until grade 9, where I was part of some program. We went to Italy and then we judged films and whatever. And obviously because that's such a big announcement, it had to be announced in school, right? So I remember when I was that side and then I was getting these messages and DMs of people being like, oh my gosh, why didn't you tell us? And I was like, I didn't think y'all knew me, but okay. So when I came back, obviously now there's an audience. Now there's people looking at me. And at that time, because I never lost the walk, I never lost the talk, the mannerisms, everything was just still intact. I guess being now in the public eye gave a rise again to the bullying and the slurs. So it started again, it started again, it started again, it started again. The bullying continues. That time when I came back, I grew closer to some boy in my class, which is my best friend now, and it's because of how we sort of shared the same story. We were both painted in the same light, you know, rumored to be. So we obviously grew closer, friendship booms, whatever. Obviously 2 now was worse, so we obviously subjected to more of the bullying, the slurs and the insults. Cool, but because of how strong and tight-knit we had become, it's sort of like all the bullying and the slurs were kind of like they'd bounce off, like they bounce off so easily. And I remember that our strategy, not that it was communicated, but like we never replied, you know, to the questions of are you or are you not. We just keep it moving. And at that time, because I've obviously had friends outside of that, I obviously had female friends, and female friends are very much stubborn and cheeky. I've had my female friends step in for me and be like, no, he is not this. I, for one, knew exactly, it's okay, it is what it is, but because it was not a conversation that I was ready to have with my female friends, I would let them, you know, I would let them deny for me, because I was done with that. I was done with the denying. I would just smile and wave, like smile, wave, keep it moving. Then my female friends would step in for me. It's not the case here. And it was nice. And because again now I was doing well in a whole other things, my name was now mentioned in different conversations now. Now when they talk about maths, now I'm there. When they talk about extramural stuff like talking, public speaking, whatever, I'm there. Now my name is sort of like mentioned in different conversations, and my narrative is sort of, I don't want to say changed, but all these achievements step in as a barrier now, because if you'd want to talk about the fact that I'm rumored to be gay, you'd absolutely be ridiculous, you know, because there was so much other things that you could talk about me, but if you choose that, it would just be a thing of really. So okay, at that time, I don't want to lie, I was living my not my best, I was living my okay queer life. Not my best queer life, I was living my okay queer life. Not so much of the suppression, I'm just moving through the times, doing things that I want to do in a way. My interests are now, like, I'm getting closer and closer to becoming, until I think matric, where I was untouchable now, like, in a sense that I was the head boy, right? So you can't disrespect the head boy, you can't bully the head boy, because now why? He's at a higher position than you. He now could do things that could land you in trouble. So that stepped in for me, because I don't remember being, that stepped in for me for the longest time. So I never really got any direct bullying or whatever, or direct questioning. It was just rumors through the grapevine, and lucky for me, I was very much familiar with the girls, so the girls would just always step in for me and be like, no, that's not the case, blah blah blah. So I was good, I was set, I had my girls, I never had to say anything because it was what it was. And then I think mid-matric, you know those fake Facebook profiles of gossip tabloids kind of thing, like where high school children set it up and they post whatever, yeah. So I remember being in, I was not in that scandal, but my name was in that scandal. I think they were like, the relationship that I have with my best friend is the reason why he's now a prefect, because I think he was part of the people who were elected late in the year. And I remember at that time, I was moved because obviously now I had my friends that would obviously fill in for me for the longest time. And something like this felt so direct because at the time I was a celeb nyana on Facebook and I knew everyone saw that. So it was the first time that these bullying or these insults or these rumors ever got to me. And I was like, yo, okay. And I remember contemplating whether or not I agree, where I address these things, but my female friends were just my strong front, man. They were just like, no. I remember Morongwa, them finding out who did it, and by the end of the day, the posts were deleted. The page in itself was deleted. So it was just a thing of, in high school, I never felt the need to address anything. I just lived and I had my gang, you know, to gang up for me. Until the end of matric, where I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I've lived my truth to a certain extent, but not entirely. There's so many other things that I wish I could have done in high school. There's so many other things that I still want to do that I haven't done, right? So I remember in 2018, I was like, there's no way. It's a different scene now, different everything. Like, I'm in varsity now. It has to show. I have to be, because this is the place where people become. Okay, I don't know what that's about. But yeah, I was just like, nah, it's done, it's child. So I remember weeks before, I'd have conversations with my friends, all the girls that stood in for me, and I was like, guys, thank you so much for your contribution to making my high school journey so worthwhile, but it is what it is. And I had some be like, oh my gosh, really, we didn't know. And I've had some that were like, we knew, we just wanted you to not have to deal with that at that time. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, I see you, I hear you. And obviously I had to sit them down, run them through it all, tell them why, where it started and all that. And then after telling them the truth and getting to a point of disclosure with them and my close friends, you know, conversations with my best friends and other friends, I didn't feel the need to explain myself to anybody else after that. I was just like, you know what, it's these people simply because of the role that they've played in my journey. After this, it's child. So immediately after that whole coming out scene, the wig, the makeup, the ring. Now I started being in my pride. Like, I started being proud, and I started deconditioning myself and started, you know, I started falling into the footsteps that I was always supposed to be following. I started just now being drawn towards myself, towards my identity, started learning more, started investing more time in unlearning a whole lot of the conditioning. I started investing more time in learning about the culture in itself. And then December 2018, where I had lived, I think, around 4 or 5 months of being... I listen to music, right? And music is universal language. Music is like, oh, it's amazing, it's nice. And then I realized that my escape most of the time throughout my journey was music. But what could have made it different at that time for me was having a gay rap icon that I could look up to. So I was just like, I rap, right? And I'm gay, so why not be? And that is how I gave birth to the everybody's favorite gay rapper title. And I was not doing it because I felt like we needed a different genre or whatever, or I didn't intend for it to further marginalize me. I was just doing it for visibility, to be honest. I felt like, should I be an upcoming rapper who doesn't declare his truth from the very beginning? I felt like it would make me sort of blend in the crowd, whereas I feel like more people need to hear this, more people still need to see this, more people still need to hear of me. So that is how I gave birth to that part of the journey. And that is how today I've lived up to my truth. And that basically sums up the story of me and the becoming and the journey and the ups and downs. Obviously not paying much attention to the bullying and the slurs that happened, you know, along the way. But that is how this came about. That is how this skier that is so confident in his skin, that is so proud to be, was born, you know. And that basically sums up the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking around until this point of the video. I appreciate you. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms. I hope that with the story you gained like a little bit insight about me, and I hope you learned a thing or two. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys all next time.